Welcome to Habitly Courses, a production of Manage to Win. Each course is divided into multiple lessons for easy viewing. All are now completely free, so you can watch them on your own or work through them as a team. Please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and share your favorite lessons with others. Try to find something that helps you be your best. Welcome to Lesson 2, Break Out of the Matrix and Snap Back to Reality. This is a big issue. It's not like a helicopter drop where you dive in, you fly out, mission accomplished. Living your true reality requires that you start with a clear vision of who you want to be and where you want to go. Then you're constantly pinging knowledge and events against that definition of reality to confirm that you're still on track. Human beings are habitual creatures. We naturally develop routines to help us through our day. Our habits may deal with mundane routines or enable us to master complex tasks requiring disciplined analytics and comprehensive skills. Charles Duhigg, in his book, The Power of Habit, estimates up to 40% of our day is controlled by our habits. Now, of course, some habits are good and can be applied to develop valuable skills. For example, playing the piano for 30 minutes every day is an excellent habit to get into if you want to improve your piano playing. Other habits are bad, like smoking or eating junk food. The bottom line is twofold. Number one, habits get stronger with use. And number two, habits either subconsciously destroy our productivity or consciously enable us to live the best life we can. Bad habits are demons that get stronger the more we let them rule our lives. Good habits are masterful pilots that guide us through the storms of life. All habits are difficult to break, especially the bad ones. As leaders, this can be our downfall. Failing to acknowledge and resolve bad habits is a form of denial that buries us in a bad habit matrix of our own creation. We say we're doing our best and can't change anything because the status quo is too comfortable and familiar. The status quo becomes an addictive habit controlling our lives even when it's not producing the success we want. In the book, The One Thing, Gary Keller talks about hitting a wall. He says, in less than a decade, we'd built a successful company with national and international ambitions, but all of a sudden things weren't working out. For all the dedication and hard work, my life was in turmoil and it felt as if everything was crumbling around me. I was failing. Like Gary, our matrix deludes us into filling our days with unnecessary and or unimportant tasks, including tasks we can delegate to others. It's easier for us to be reactive instead of proactive. However, our reactive habits destroy our ability to be our best. Our false matrix subconsciously convinces us to live what I call the big lie. The big lie is, I'm doing everything I can. The big lie appeals to our hard work ethic, and that's why it's so powerful. It's based on a shred of truth that tugs at our sense of integrity. Rather than face reality, we sink our heads into the ground to avoid change. We procrastinate making the tough decisions that would break us out of our self-imposed hole because there's comfort in that pity party. That old, oh, woe is me, I'm just doing everything I can, kind of feels good. The big lie locks us in darkness, shielded in the hole by our bad habits, motivated to justify our false matrix rather than break out of it. So, reject the big lie. Take a step back and really evaluate, what am I doing? What can I do and what should I do to achieve my goals? So stop what you're doing for reality check. Think about it. You're on a journey with a million possible destinations, but you have to identify one true path to being your best as a leader and as an organization. I suggest you ask Gary Keller's question from his book, The One Thing. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? If you're willing to focus on one thing at a time is what I'm emphasizing, then you're going to have a major target, a goal, an objective. And then you need to map the course to get there. And the weekly sanctuary I've got listed there, that means that once a week, you're going to take a break without any interruptions and you're going to think, okay, How did I do this past week? Am I on track? Where are the problems? What do I need to do this next week to make progress? You may, in that sanctuary, identify a weekly win. The acronym WIN stands for what's important now. So you can focus on maybe 1 to 3 activities that'll really help you make progress. And then do a little daily self-accountability check-in. Doesn't have to take you very long, but it can be very effective. Too often our plans begin as fantasy. We assume the path is straight ahead and relatively trouble-free. Instead, the path to success involved climbing mountains, building a bridge, crossing treacherous waters, and/or you might even drop a product line that represents 25% of your revenue. In 1999, Tony Hsieh became involved with Zappos as an advisor and investor about 2 months after the company was founded. Zappos sold shoes online, and they were one of the first. In 2000, he joined the company full-time when it only had $1.6 million in revenue, and quite frankly, it was close to bankruptcy. In Tony's book, Delivering Happiness, he describes tough decision after tough decision that eventually led to over $1 billion in sales and Amazon's acquisition of Zappos for $1.2 billion. Let's review that again. The year 2000, almost bankrupt, $1.6 million in revenue. 9 years later, sold for $1.2 billion. That's like going from 0 to $1.2 billion in 9 years. How did that happen? Well, the bottom line is tough decisions accelerate growth. Tony chose to gain market share by providing a no-risk, superior customer experience to buying shoes online. Entering 2003, their 4th year in business, 25% of their sales were drop-shipped by major shoe manufacturers. The problem was they shipped products slowly and they processed returns even slower. The customer experience was terrible compared to the product that Zappos inventoried and handled. In March 2003, Tony and his executive team decided to drop 25% of their product line, those shoes that were drop shipped by the manufacturers. Moving forward, they'd only sell shoes from their own warehouses, so the customer experience of buying shoes from Zappos was consistently the best it could be. Let me ask you, would you purposefully sabotage 25% of your revenue on the hope that people would feel good buying from you and sales would make up for it? Tough decision. Yet instead of killing the company, Zappos revenue exploded. In 2003, the year of the decision, Zappos sales more than doubled, even though they had to make up for the 25% loss in sales from the manufacturers that were drop shipping. Now, like Zappos, your battle plan may require some drastic changes. So let's do a little survey. What about you? What's the reason you and/or your company are not your best? Look at the list there. What do you think it is? The bottom line is the reason you're not your best is it's not important to you. The reality is being your best hasn't been important enough to you. It's more comfortable to stay with the status quo. But what I'm challenging you to do now is I'm challenging you to make a different decision. But you've got to commit to change, and you've got to understand it takes about 90 days to develop a new habit. So I want to give you 5 tips on how to develop new, better habits from the book, The Power of Habit. Number 1, we got to recognize habits are 40% of our routine. They make up a lot of our day. Number 2, habits are more powerful than willpower. We need willpower, but it kind of comes and goes. Whereas habits, remember, 40% of our day. Number 3, I put in red because it's super important and it's linked to number 4. So number 3, bad habits never go away. So you think of someone who's in Alcoholics Anonymous. They have a habit of, I want to drink or I want some other type of drug, but they overcome that when they get the urge of, oh, I'm stressed, I want to get a drink or whatever. They overcome that habit with, I got to go to a meeting. That's what we have to do with our bad habits. We have to overcome them with new, more powerful habits. And then number 5, remember, it takes 90 days to develop a new habit. So why not start now? What I want you to do is I want you to overcome bad habits with new, more powerful, good ones. I want you to create a good habit matrix that then gets us back to reality and removes obstacles to our success by overcoming the bad habits matrix. You can see the difference. So my question is, what about you? You may want to pause this training right now and think. Examine your situation. What do you need to do to get back to reality? Ask yourself, what's the primary reason you and/or your company are not your best? What does your matrix or fantasy world look like versus the true reality of your situation? Are you caught in an unhealthy feedback loop believing a big lie? Does the thought of major change sound daunting or even impossible? Is there some type of unchangeable difference between you and other people? No, there's not. And the fact is, changing just one habit, start with one, can start a domino effect of more success than you've ever known before. As you struggle to figure out how to shed your sluggardly habits, let me encourage you with one final thought. If you're frustrated with your status quo and ready for change, I want you to take heart. People who achieve success or fulfillment in life are not smarter, luckier, wealthier, or flush with more opportunities than you. They're basically the same as everyone else. There's just one difference. Most of the time after they make a mistake, they never go back and do it again. This fact is from the book Never Go Back by Dr. Henry Cloud, which is another great resource. Changing one habit starts the domino effect. And what you do is when you start to change these habits, you can see the 4 points I'm making there on the screen. You can go after bigger and bigger things by changing habits that impact more and more. Why am I pushing so hard for change? Number one, it's because as leaders, we impact the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of other people. We need to be responsible with that. Number two, to be candid, I've wasted too much of my career allowing my bad habits to keep me in a bad habits matrix. I don't want you to be stuck there. So what I'm challenging you with is make a decision, maybe a tough decision for you. You can decide, sorry, Dave, I'm going to stay where I'm at. I'm comfortable. This is okay. May not be the best, but I'm okay. If you make the decision consciously, that's all right. I don't agree with it, but it's all right. Number two, the other option, I'm encouraging you, say, whoa, I do want to change. I could be better. This could be more fun. I could be having more of an impact. Make a commitment to change and then follow through. What's next? In lesson 3, I'm going to introduce you to the first strand of 3 strands leadership, systematic power. But first, I want you to conclude this lesson. So you need to pass the online exam. And number 2, I'm going to suggest take a break, think about what am I going to do differently based on this challenge to understand my true reality and break out of my matrix. And number 3, move on to the next lesson. Keep going.